giving our praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kwadash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to all the sincere elect out there. Aria coming back at you with another lesson. So we're witnessing an end of a kingdom, man. As we know it, an end of an empire. That's going to be the title of this video. We're witnessing the end of an empire. The end is on the horizon. And the coin that was termed for the beginning of this year was salvation, the hopeful year of salvation and deliverance for the elect, and destruction and judgment upon the wicked. And it's turned up. In the time it came in, that year came in, we saw that. And it's turned up. Now they're talking about we're in the time of the government shutdown, and the scriptures actually goes into that. The grinding shall cease, right? And that has a domino effect. One of the ministers of the defense, which they totally whitewashed the Senate since Nero got in, they totally whitewashed it because they got to make America great again, or making it white again. That's their idea of making it great again. And the ICE, right? The Jacob's Trouble, right? The draconian laws, the unconstitutional laws, draconian laws, dragonian laws. So we're seeing it right before our very eyes. Let me hit a precept to get the ball rolling. What we're seeing right now, let's hit it. Jeremiah chapter 30, and we're going to read a couple of verses here. Like I say, we've been talking about Jacob's Trouble. It's here. We've been talking about the MOTB. The beginning stages, the foundation is here. We've been talking about how everything's upside down, and it's stepped up a level. So Jeremiah 30, and I'll read 7 in the NLT. It says, in all history there has never been such a time of terror. That's right, right? And all you got to do is ask the northern tribe, northern kingdom, and you can ask both the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom what they're experiencing right now, right? So this cuts all them scoffers. This cuts them scoffers, slices them up. Hebrews 4:12, the word of God is alive and sharper than any two-edged sword. Yeah? I'll read it from the top again. Jeremiah 30:7. In all history there has never been such a time of terror. It will be a time of trouble for my people Israel. Yet in the end they shall be saved, right? The elect, and it's talking about the elect, right? And we're prisoners of hope, right? As much as what we're seeing, we're witnessing it. We have to suffer just alongside these other people for the most part. But it's all part of the movie, the Mosai's movie. But he says we shall be saved out of it. That's why we continue to pray and put up curses on this place. Particularly the Lord's Prayer. You can either say it in the English or in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Shamkar, right? In the Hebrew, the Lord's Prayer. Right? And that's a curse that's putting a curse upon this place. Yet in the end they shall be saved, for in that day saith Yahweh, the Lord of armies, I will break the yoke from their necks and snap their chains. Yeah, that's that yoke that they got us under right now. Right? The birth certificate, the national insurance number, that's a yoke, right? Cannot be refuted. All you are is a number to them, right? And they use you, right? So he's going to break that yoke when he comes, right? And it's unconstitutional. A lot of these laws, these draconian laws, are unconstitutional, right? The 3/5 of a man and all of that. So that's what he's going to do, right? Trying to say that we're only 3/5 of a human being. Reading on. For in that day, saith the Lord of heaven's armies, I will break the yoke from their necks and snap their chains. Right, that's them chains, right? The Babylon released the chains, but them now they're using their brains. It's an old school Studio One song or rocker song, because they have released the chains, the chattel slaves, but they got us under the draconian laws, these contracts. Once again, the national insurance number. These are all chains. But the Yahushua gonna come and he's gonna loose us off those yokes, those chains, those contracts, those binding contracts. Yeah. For my people will serve the Lord, their God, and they descended from David. Right? Did I read that right? Yeah. For my people will serve the Lord, their God, and their King, descended from David. Right? That's true. Yeah. The root of Jesse. Genesis 49 and 9. The root of Jesse. The tribe of Judah, right? And David was from the tribe of Judah. Hence, Solomon from the tribe of Judah, and Solomon was Yahushua. For those of us that can receive that, their king I will rise up for them. So do not be afraid, Jacob, my servant. Right, there it is. Right, talking about do not be afraid. Right, because being afraid is a form of lack of faith that goes into that in Revelations 21, right? The fearful, liars, and unbelievers will have their fate in the lake of fire. So we're not afraid. We have to be bold and believe. We are prisoners of hope, but hence why we continue to pray and stay in our lot and remain humble and pray. Like I say, them prayers we put them up every single day. Yeah. Do not be dismayed, Israel, saith Yahweh, for I will bring you home again from distant lands. Right, man. Once again, that's that yoke, that contract, that being bound right here in Egypt once again. Right, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And Egypt is just a Greek word for bondage. And we're back here again. But what's he saying? Let me read. For I will bring you home again from the distant lands, and your children will return from their exile. Right? What they did to the children over there, was it New York? In certain parts of the states, they go in and raiding the children's homes, northern tribes, and dragging them out of their beds. Right? I could do a video on that, Lord willing. What's actually happened? That's with ICE. So this is unconstitutional, right? The draconian laws, Isaiah chapters 10, right? So we're going to be released from all of that oppression, and the scriptures don't tell us we're going to have to pay them back for that. Revelation chapters 18 and 6. We're going to have to pay them back for that. We're going to pay them double, right? And your children will return from their exile. Israel will return to a life of peace and quiet. I've done a video a little while back. The peace is the power. Something to that effect. Peace is the prize, and peace is the most beautiful thing. And yeah, before we have that peace, we're gonna have that peace. We're gonna have to get down. We're gonna get down, and Yahushua gonna get down. Right? That's that grand finale. Right? That's the ultimate war. And Masha Pacham, he's got a controversy with the wicked. These people, we've got a controversy with them. Right? Judgments, Masha Pacham, judgments. So that judgment is coming upon them. Right? Their exile, Israel will return to the life of peace and quiet, and no one will terrorize them, despite what a lot of them scoffers were saying. When we get in the kingdom, there's going to be another uprising. Well, we done refute that. So that's what we're prisoners of hope, and we are witnessing right before our very eyes an end of an era. On the horizon, we can see the prophecies. Once upon a time, we were seeing the prophecies, right? That was brought down from our elders and apostles on down and their elders. Now we're living it, we're seeing it in lifetime. We're witnessing an end of an era, just like what happened to all those other empires in Daniel. As a matter of fact, we're gonna hit a precept It's going to be a quick one, but I want to put this energy, this vibration out there. And as I was thinking here, the sun just come out. Daniel's chapters 2. And supposedly it's going to be a gloomy day today, but the Most High is the Father of spirits, he's the Father of time, and this is his movie. 2:12 says, and he changeth the times and seasons. Let me read 19. The secret is revealed to Daniel. Daniel chapter 2:19 says, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed Yahweh of heavens. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Yeah. Kala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Right, to the prophets, he revealed his secrets to the prophets. Right, wisdom and might are his. Shalak Lahaya Hakamaka. Lord, send me some wisdom. Right, that's another one of my quick hitter prayers on the move. Right, when you're in the midst of any kind of conundrums, you can just throw that up. Shalak Lahaya Hakamaka. Lord, send me some wisdom. Right, so you can deal with things in a more of a spiritual way, right, rather than a carnal way. So that's what he's saying here. And Daniel answered and said, blessed be Yahweh, the name of Yahweh forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Did not he give Yahweh give Daniel wisdom? Most definitely, to reveal those dreams to the king. And he changeth the times and the seasons, and he removeth kings and setteth up kings, and he giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. And Daniel was well renowned. Right? He was made governor of the times of the kings, governor of the Babylonians, right? By Nebuchadnezzar throughout his life. And he was well renowned, well known. Because the wise and the knowledge to them that know. Let me read that again. And he changeth the seasons, the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up, and he giveth wisdom unto the wise, and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and sacred things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth in him. That's that truth, the light. Right? Light is otherwise described as truth, or truth is otherwise described as light. So Daniel was revealed the light, the sacred things, to reveal dreams to all those that he that demanded of him, all the kings that demanded of him. He was Belshazzar, the son of Nebuchadnezzar, and also Nebuchadnezzar. And he was well renowned and revered by the way he was he lived and the way he interpreted those dreams. So once we saw the prophecies, now we're living in lifetime. We're witnessing the prophecies now, right? With the government shutdown over there in Babylon, and the scriptures go into that. That's in Ecclesiastes chapters 12, 2 and 3. The grinders shall cease. We're witnessing that, and there's going to be a domino effect to that. So, Kala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai, we can no longer say, where is those prophecies that were spoken about? Everything has been taking place from the beginning. The scoffers, what the scoffers be talking about, they can no longer say that. That's why they're becoming more and more mute. They're falling by the wayside, because the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai is the Father of truth. We're seeing Jacob's trouble. No, we're no longer just talking about it. We're seeing that with what's happening over there with the ICE and all the unconstitutional laws, grabbing them people up from the streets. We're seeing that taking place right before our very eyes. The Wadayo Ba'ashem Yoshai, we have reason, as I said in one of my recent videos, to have a spurt of energy, more of a spurt of energy to keep going. Now we're in the championship rounds of the fight. And may we have a spurt of energy. May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai to continue to bless us, and may we endure to the end. The Wadayo Ba'ashem Yoshai, Kala Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Daniel chapters 12 from the top says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. Right, Michael, that's another name for, that's the name of an angel, right? Michael Allah, who is like God, one of the chief archangels. He's going to stand up for who? Right? Up the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. Right? That's the elect. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation. Once again, land backing of Elder Apostle Tahar. We're no longer just talking about Jacob's trouble. We're in Jacob's trouble, the beginning stages. And we just got to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, as we're reading in here. Such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time, that same time, at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. And that's also in Revelation, chapters 5 and 5, where the lion, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, right, he has the new scrolls. So we're prisoners of hope, and that's the grand finale, Isaiah 63. That's that grand finale when Yahushua going to return, right, with vengeance. Kala Yahweh, and it's righteous vengeance. The water Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, Kala Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, B'Shem Rakah Kodash. As we know it, we're witnessing the end of an empire. To the next one.